responsible for the right way. We're going to summarize all the lectures and send it to you by graphics. Okay, so it was very important that he's here. So we would like to speak with him in the break, during the break. He's very nice. So we will speak half English, half Hebrew, half Danish, half German, whatever. But we're going to split the session today into two main parts. The first main part is going to be lectures. We're trying to do it very short. Each and every one of us has half an hour. I'm going to be shorter than I expected because we started late. Then Judith, and then a little break, and then John. And after the lectures, well, we are going to share the case study of Stratasys EMEA. We're going to split into round tables and talk about challenges, talk about opportunities, talk about chaos, hopefully share knowledge in between us, all of us, and not only us and yourself. And since I really don't know most of the people here, I'll be happy to speak with you during the break if somebody would like to add something, to share something, etc. And the last technical thing I'm going to say now is that until 2-3 years ago, we had kind of a forum, a global forum, that was gathering every once in a while, when it was in the steering committee then, and we just shared knowledge. And we stopped doing this because it's a lot of mess. But if you would like to recreate another one, just tell me, maybe we will be strong enough to do it. But anyway, we're going to have now 3 round tables in a row. We're going to have the next one on September the 20th. It's a case study of ZIM, the shipping company that we support for the past 4 years, global-wise. And then in October, we're going to have a holiday. Hopefully everybody will be on vacation. And in November, we're going to share a case study with Microsoft about giving managers coaching skills and supporting them being coaches to younger managers as a methodology, as a system. This is it. We're going to end at 1 o'clock, and until then, let's start. Everybody you will talk with in the global arena will tell you that we are going through crisis management all the time, that there is no quiet anymore. Once upon a time, there was an organization, and we had the change management phase, and then we rest. And then we had the change management phase, and then we rest. And now we don't rest. It's change within a change within a change. So people say that it's not something that is normal like we used to have in the 20th century. It's something completely different. And because it is completely different, we're supposed to support our people in a completely different way. Something that I usually see when I'm working with HR teams, it's that people are very busy. And they're very busy with the little things that really prevent them from doing the high-level perception things. I usually used to say that it's like if I'm going during daylight in the streets and I'm walking like this, or if I walk like this. And everything that has to do with HR is small details, and this is the daily routine. But I think that the main message I would like to share with you today is that this is not the right thing to do. Because all these sticky little things that are disturbing us from seeing the big picture, it's the failure that we're going to support our management with. So we're going to do it otherwise. I would like you to stand up, see around, maybe if it's sometimes climb on a chair or something, and see that the environments that we share in this arena are first of all things that are happening in the world. It's economical things, it's political things, it's technological-wise, whatever it is, we're talking about the big picture. Stuff that happens around us that really disturb us for having normal life. And then we have our organization, and HR is supposed to see the whole organization because we are responsible for integration, and if we would like to support managers, we're supposed to support them to see the picture, even though sometimes they are in their silos. We have to break the silos, not only for us, but for others, but this is what we're supposed to do. So, usually we have some training programs that we call them inside out, but it's a different version though. We're supposed to look outside and be familiar with everything that has to do with the VUCA. VUCA, have you heard this before? Okay? VUCA is a very nice way to say balagan. Okay? We have balagan. If we like to be interesting, we can say chaos. And if we would like to be really sexy and updated, we're supposed to say VUCA, but everything that has to do with. There is no right and wrong. Everything is part of everything. Everything influencing everything. And we're supposed to decide decisions to manage others, to lead, and to deal with all the crises around us. This is, you see, this is very, very nice. Universe and universe. It's not me, it's our design center. But we have the universe around us, and you have universe. By the way, you can get presentation for, so you don't have to write anything unless it's helping you to remember. So we have the universe, and the world is changing not only around us, but within us. The Y generation that is coming to work is different. They're much better in technology, they're much better in multitask, but they are kind of having balagan in their minds as well, which is good and bad at the same time. By the way, I myself kind of hyperactive since I was born, so I just now find myself in a nice arena. Now I feel comfortable. First time in my life, I feel comfortable. So we have this external world and we have this internal world, and this is our managers. This is our global arena. With this, we have to face every day. I will have only 2 recommendations for reading. It's not much in my lectures, but the first one is this. It's what do you see in this creature, in this painting inside? What do you see? Institute for the Future. What's the symbol? Not your shade.
Initials.
What?
Initials.
Initials. Initials? Okay. It's something that it looks completely different when you look close and when you work, if you have a distance. It's numbers. You have the numbers, like you have when you would like to pay something in the internet. It's numbers, but it's really changing when you're looking closely or from far away. This is one of the things that I think that I would like you to read, if you didn't. If you don't like to read, they don't have a TED Talk yet, but you can see articles over the net. Leaders make the future. Leaders always make the future. Leaders and futures are kind of the same painting, the same art, the same everything. Leaders, future leaders. But when we talk about this, we don't talk about prediction and preparing people or leaders according to what witches says. Well, I'm a witch, and usually I'm really proud of my profession. But we don't talk about the tarot cards. It's interesting, but it's a different story. We talk about forecasting. And forecasting does not mean being a kind of a witch from the mediocrity class or something. We speak about intelligent people who are sitting together, sharing information, and talk about scenarios. This is forecasting. Because if we would like to do something good for our company, for our people, we have to know what's the next step. And we can know what's the next step only if we know what is the future bringing us. So we talk about kind of forecasting, and then it's supposed to be intelligent enough and open enough for communication to try to think and to create a new idea where our organization is going to and where is the specific managers that we're working with would like to go to. And only then, after we do this insight out of everything that we know, we can take action. It can be very fast. It can be like this. But we have to go through this process. We have to try to see where are we going next, then to interpret the situation in a way nobody else can, and only then take an action.